Alright, here's a quick little video. I am swapping out the original horns on my Mini with these Hella horns, a high and low, low and high frequency. And the part number is that. Very inexpensive for these. Come with a relay, you don't need the relay. So now, one way to make it OEM install without destroying these beautiful connectors is to you turn your regular one over, and right on the side here, let's see if I can do that with one hand. You can go ahead and pry this out on both sides, and it's going to end up like this. You'll end up with this piece coming off. You slowly wiggle it away and move it out, and now you see that there's basically just two studs in the original horn. So you turn that over, get yourself a couple of these, and these are going to press right in there. Once you press them in there, there'll be a real nice tight fit. And then you run a small cable from there to one of these, or to one of these fancier ones with the heat shrink tubing. Just a small little cable, like 6 inches or so. And then you're going to be able to plug your OEM connector into here, and the other side into each of the spade connectors on the horns. And that's how you can swap these to these without having to cut anything. You still have to make your little jumpers, and I'll show you the jumpers once they're done. Alright, so here's the original horn, the low frequency one without the little pop-in piece, and here is the Hella, which will go in the same spot back here. And this is how I routed the short little wires that I made, the jumpers. Now I'm going to tape all this up so it doesn't come off, but the fit is really snug in there. I put heat shrink tubing over the top of the connector, just exposing a little over 1/4 inch of the tip of those connectors, so that would fit in there real tight, and it does. It fits in there really tight. Now you still have your OEM connector. So let me figure out how I'm going to feed this, because putting this in here makes it really close to the inner fender piece. So I might have to pull this a little bit out of the way. I might actually have to remake these. Let's see what I can do. Maybe I'll funnel it behind here. Let me see what I can do. Alright, I got one installed. It's in there real good. The connectors. Try to show the other side. The connector is good because it's tight, but it's not solid, so it has, with vibrations, nothing's going to shake loose because it absorb the vibrations being loose like that. But everything's taped up. Now I just have to worry about this one. Now the installation of this one might be a little tight, and remember, this is just a cover. You can remove this and leave it without this. You can paint it to match your car. That's why it's there. It's a protective cover, but nothing's ever going to hit this. This is completely covered by the bumper. So now we got to try to fit this one with its tab kind of back there. It doesn't seem like that's going to fit very well. I might have to make a little bracket of sorts to kind of put it in sideways or something like that. Let me work on that. Alright, and there they are. I put a little piece of gaffer's tape right here It's just a thick black tape just to keep them from rubbing. They almost touch, they're not exactly touching. The bracket that connects to this one, I went ahead and bent it from straight, just like that, maybe like not even like 30 degrees maybe, and that was able to, let me put it this way. Now the brackets that go in here, once you put the bracket in the back, they're meant to stay straight up. So I loosened that, spun this one out slightly, and then tighten it back very little because I don't want it to interfere with the bumper. Just to make sure, I went ahead and pressed this in, made sure that it wasn't touching in there. I still had a little bit of room, and it does. So man, this is, they are so loud, it's almost obnoxious. I don't ever honk when I arrive somewhere or when I'm picking up a friend, but if I did, they would hate me. These things are astronomically loud, but you need it sometimes. Sometimes people need to be shook up when they're just driving 30 miles an hour in the highway and stuff like that. But all right, now it's time to put back the front, and today's intercooler and horn install will be complete. By the way, in order to get at the screw, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, the screw that's back there. What I did was I went in the wheel well, and let's see if I can focus there. And I loosened the 4 screws that are right here around the brake air duct. These 4, and then from this side I was able to just press this back enough to get my hand all the way in there, and then I was able to get a ratchet with a 10mm socket to secure this piece. Let me see if you can see the connections. I don't think you can. Well, maybe. Oh yeah. Yeah, the connections are the same ones that I did for this side, to where I went ahead and put in the 2 side connectors and married them to the original OEM connector on the back of the OEM horns, and then I was able to just use the regular connectors and not have to cut anything in the car. They are wicked loud. Wicked loud. Enjoy them if you get them.